This is the Focal Point podcast, an ongoing series where we deep dive into the meat of messy management. Whether it's technology, business, government, or entertainment, we chat about our experiences and perspectives in life and leadership. Join us as we learn about their latest insights and hopefully inspire you to have some of your own.
Here's the scary part. Your organization may be more AI ready than ever. Better tools, better models, better data, faster workflows, and still be making worse decisions faster than before.
That's the tension, right? Because on the surface, it looks like progress. The demo works, the pilot is impressive, the strategy memo appears in seconds, the code compiles, the summary sounds sharp.
Exactly. It looks like intelligence has been added to the system.
But the article is saying not necessarily.
Right. AI can increase output, it can increase speed, it can increase polish, but it does not automatically increase judgment.
And that's the part leaders usually miss.
Because the real question is not, can our organization use AI? The real question is, does our organization know what to trust after AI gives us an answer?
That's a useful distinction.
The article calls this the judgment gap. It is the space between what a system can produce and what an organization is wise enough to trust.
So this is not really an AI readiness problem.
Not in the usual sense. It's not just, do we have the tools? Do we have the data? Do we have governance? Do we have use cases? Those matter, but the deeper issue is organizational judgment.
Meaning, can the organization decide what matters? Can it test claims? Can it challenge fluent answers? Can it simplify complexity without distorting it?
Yes, AI can accelerate analysis. It can generate options. It can summarize ambiguity. It can surface patterns. But it cannot decide which trade-offs belong to the business. It cannot tell you which customer pain is strategically important. It cannot take responsibility for the consequences.
That last part feels important. AI can participate in the work, but it cannot own the decision.
Exactly. And the article makes a sharp claim. The next divide will not be between companies using AI and companies ignoring AI. It will be between companies that use AI to strengthen judgment and companies that use AI to avoid judgment.
That's a much more uncomfortable divide.
It is, because a company can look modern and still be hollow at the decision-making core.
Like a bridge that looks stable from the outside while stress fractures are spreading underneath.
Perfect analogy. The dashboard is green, the AI program is active, people are experimenting, leadership is excited. But underneath, the organization may still be unclear about strategy, accountability, risk, evidence, and trade-offs.
And AI doesn't fix that.
No, it amplifies it.
Wait, say more about that.
A disciplined organization becomes faster with AI. Its good habits scale, its ability to learn improves. But a confused organization also becomes faster with AI.
Faster confusion.
Exactly. A faster analytical system placed inside a confused organization does not create clarity. It produces confusion at higher velocity.
That's the first major idea in the article. Better models do not create better judgment.
Right. And this is where the article pushes against one of the easiest mistakes in AI transformation, which is confusing capability with maturity.
Because a model can produce impressive things.
Absolutely. It can draft a strategy memo, generate code, summarize customer interviews, forecast demand, create options. But utility is not judgment.
That line matters. Utility is not judgment.
Yes, a tool can be useful without making the organization wiser. And the article points out that this pattern is not new. Every major technology wave arrives with a kind of promise. This tool will finally do what leadership, culture, and operating discipline failed to do.
And it never does.
It never does. Technology can amplify a good operating model. It can make strong systems more visible, scalable, and efficient, but it cannot choose the right market. It cannot repair trust. It cannot confront an uncomfortable fact. It cannot create a culture that knows how to stop doing low-value work.
Those are judgment problems.
Exactly. And that explains why AI pilots often look amazing in isolation but disappoint in enterprise rollouts.
Because the demo has boundaries.
Yes, the context is contained, the question is narrow, the success criteria are clear. But in the real organization, the hard part was never simply producing an answer. The hard part was knowing which answer should matter, who owns the consequences, and what changes when the answer is inconvenient.
That's the enterprise problem. Not can AI answer, but can the organization absorb the answer?
And challenge it.
And act on it.
And know when not to act on it.
So then the second idea is that persuasion is not understanding.
Yes, AI makes fluent output cheap. That is both its power and its danger.
Because organizations already have a problem with fluent output.
Exactly. This did not begin with AI. Organizations have always mistaken confidence for evidence, polish for depth, consensus for truth. A beautiful slide deck can make ambiguity feel resolved. A crisp roadmap can make uncertainty look managed. A compelling business case can hide fragile assumptions.
AI just lowers the cost of producing those things.
And raises the premium on verification.
Right, because now the sentence sounds finished before the thinking has been tested.
That's the danger. The article mentions a note about conversational AI, where the most persuasive AI conversations were also the most inaccurate.
That is unsettling.
It should be, because persuasion and correctness can move in opposite directions. The more natural, detailed, and confident the response sounds, the easier it becomes for a team to mistake fluency for insight.
So the risk is not that AI sounds robotic. The risk is that it sounds too good.
Yes, and when something sounds complete, people stop interrogating it.
This reminds me of a dashboard that shows a fever but not the disease.
Exactly. The output tells you something is happening, but it does not necessarily tell you what is true, what caused it, or what should be done next.
And sometimes the dashboard itself becomes the theater.
Yes, the organization starts reacting to the appearance of intelligence instead of the evidence behind it.
So what does the article say an AI-ready organization needs here?
Habits of proof, not just access to models. The team needs to ask, what evidence would change this decision? What source is being summarized? Which assumption is doing the most work? What failure mode would make this recommendation dangerous?
Those are great leadership questions.
And they are practical, because the issue is not whether AI can produce a plausible answer. It can. The issue is whether the organization has a disciplined way to challenge that answer before it becomes a plan, a roadmap, a budget, or a customer-facing decision.
So then we get to the third idea. The question is the unit of strategy.
Yes, this may be the most important section. Many organizations approach AI as if the main problem is answer generation. Better prompts, better context, better data sources, better integrations, and the answers improve.
Which is true up to a point.
Yes, better inputs often produce better outputs, but better answers to weak questions do not produce strategy.
They produce elaborate motion around an unexamined premise.
Exactly. The question sets the boundary of imagination. It determines which facts count, which stakeholders matter, which trade-offs are visible, and which kinds of value are excluded before the work even begins.
Give me an example.
Ask, how do we reduce support volume, and AI may help automate responses. That might be useful. But ask, why do customers need support in the first place? And you may discover a product problem, an onboarding problem, or an architecture problem.
That's a totally different level of inquiry.
Right. Or ask, how do we increase developer throughput? And AI may help generate more code, but ask, where is delivery work being reworked, blocked, or abandoned? And now you may uncover a system constraint that no coding assistant can solve.
So the quality of the question determines whether AI accelerates improvement or just accelerates activity.
Exactly. And this is where leaders have to be careful not to outsource the wrong part of the work. AI can help explore a question, it can compare options, it can reveal weak assumptions if asked carefully, but it cannot decide what the organization should be curious about.
That remains leadership's job.
Yes, and when leaders skip that job, AI becomes a machine for answering questions that should have been challenged first.
That's a painful sentence.
But very real.
This is like pulling people out of the river downstream instead of going upstream to find out why they keep falling in.
Great analogy. AI can make the downstream rescue faster. It can categorize the tickets, generate the response, escalate the incident, summarize the call, but judgment asks, why are people in the river?
And that question is slower.
It is slower. It is also more valuable.
Then the article moves into simplicity.
Right, and this is another counterintuitive point. Complex organizations often reward complexity. The bigger the roadmap, the denser the architecture diagram, the more elaborate the transformation plan, the more serious the work appears.
AI can make that worse.
Very much so. It can produce more summaries, more plans, more variants, more documentation, more analysis, more apparent expertise.
So instead of solving complexity, it can flood the organization with artifacts.
Yes, and the leadership task is not to make complexity more impressive, it is to make complexity more usable.
That's a strong distinction.
The article draws on the idea that simplicity is not dumbing things down. Simplicity is prioritization. It is the discipline of deciding what matters most and organizing complexity around that center.
So AI can compress text, but compression is not clarity.
Exactly. A short summary can still be unclear. A clean slide can still avoid the real trade-off. A simplified plan can still hide the hard choice.
Clarity requires judgment.
Yes, the organizations that benefit most from AI will not be the ones generating the largest volume of artifacts. They will be the ones turning abundance into shared understanding.
That feels like a key leadership phrase, shared understanding.
Because a strategy that cannot be remembered will not guide behavior. A principle that cannot be applied under pressure will not shape decisions. A roadmap that cannot explain what the company is refusing to do is not a strategy, it is an inventory.
That one stings.
It should. A lot of roadmaps are inventories. They list ambitions, features, commitments, dependencies, and hopes, but they do not clarify the trade-offs.
So simplicity is not the absence of complexity.
Right. It is the presence of judgment strong enough to organize complexity around a usable center.
That reminds me of a scaffold that becomes a ceiling.
Say more.
A framework, roadmap, or AI-generated plan might start as a scaffold. It helps people organize the work. But if nobody applies judgment, it becomes a ceiling. People stop thinking beyond it. They treat the artifact as the strategy.
That's exactly the risk. The artifact becomes authoritative because it is polished, not because it is true.
And then we arrive at verification.
Yes, verification is the new bottleneck.
This is one of the most practical parts of the article.
It is. Historically, when production was expensive, organizations focused on producing more analysis, more designs, more code, more documentation, more content, more options.
But AI changes the economics.
Right. Producing plausible work becomes cheaper. Reviewing it, testing it, integrating it, and taking responsibility for it become the scarce activities.
So the bottleneck moves.
Exactly. In software teams, the bottleneck is less often the first draft of code. It is confidence. Is the code correct? Is it maintainable? Is it secure? Is it observable? Does it fit the surrounding system?
And in strategy, the same pattern applies.
Yes. AI can draft scenarios, but leaders still have to validate assumptions. It can summarize customer research, but teams still have to notice who was missing. It can propose a plan, but the organization still has to test whether the plan survives contact with reality.
That phrase matters. Contact with reality.
Because internal admiration is not validation. A beautiful AI-generated plan can still fail the moment it meets users, systems, constraints, incentives, or budgets.
So the future belongs to organizations that treat AI output as a starting point for judgment, not a substitute for it.
Exactly. They will build review loops, evidence standards, decision records, product telemetry, engineering practices that make truth harder to skip.
That is such an important phrase. Make truth harder to skip.
Because organizations often do not make bad decisions because nobody had information. They make bad decisions because the system made it too easy to skip the uncomfortable information.
Right. The customer complaint was there. The failed test was there. The rework pattern was there. The dependency risk was there. But it did not have a strong enough path into the decision.
Exactly. AI does not solve that automatically. In fact, it can make avoidance easier by producing a more persuasive story around the path the organization already wanted to take.
So, for leaders listening, what are the practical questions?
The article gives us a great way to frame them. Start with what happens after AI produces an answer.
Not before, after.
Right. The demo is not the test. The answer is not the finish line. What happens next is where organizational maturity shows up.
So, question 1, do we know how to challenge the answer?
Yes. Can the team interrogate sources, assumptions, missing context, and failure modes, or does the output become credible because it is fluent?
Question 2, do we know who owns verification?
Exactly. If everyone assumes someone else checked it, no one checked it.
Question 3, can leadership distinguish a compelling narrative from a tested claim?
That one is huge, especially because AI is very good at producing compelling narratives, but a narrative is not a decision standard.
Question 4, can we simplify without distorting?
Yes. Can we reduce complexity into something usable while preserving the important trade-offs, or are we just compressing ambiguity into cleaner language?
Question 5, can we say no to technically impressive work that doesn't advance the strategy?
That may be the hardest one, because AI creates more impressive possibilities, more prototypes, more automations, more experiments, more dashboards.
And not all of them matter.
Exactly. Judgment is partly the ability to refuse attractive work that does not serve the strategy.
That is uncomfortable in organizations where momentum gets mistaken for progress.
Yes, and this brings us back to the opening. AI readiness is often measured by adoption. How many tools, how many pilots, how many use cases, how much productivity?
But the deeper readiness question is about decision quality.
Can the organization ask better questions? Can it confront facts? Can it simplify decisions? Can it validate work against reality? Can it take responsibility for what it chooses to trust?
Because AI will make strong judgment more valuable, not less.
Exactly. That is the central warning of the article. AI does not eliminate the need for judgment. It exposes whether judgment was there in the first place.
So an organization can have the model, the platform, the data, the governance, the roadmap, the executive sponsorship, and still have a judgment gap.
Yes, and this gap shows up when fluent answers move faster than tested understanding.
When the dashboard shows smoke, but nobody checks the wiring.
Right. Or when the bridge looks stable, but the stress fractures are spreading underneath.
So what should leaders do differently tomorrow?
Start treating AI output as an invitation to think, not permission to stop thinking. Build rituals around verification. Ask what evidence would change the decision. Track assumptions. Make decision ownership explicit. Reward people who find the flaw before the customer does.
And ask better questions before asking for better answers.
Exactly, because better answers to weak questions are still weak strategy.
That might be the takeaway.
Here's how I'd say it. The organizations that win with AI will not be the ones that produce the most. They will be the ones that know what to trust, what to test, what to simplify, and what to ignore.
And the organizations that lose?
They may not look like they are losing at first. That's the dangerous part. They may look modern, productive, automated, AI-enabled.
Right up until the decisions start compounding in the wrong direction.
Exactly. By the time the dashboard turns red, the real failure already happened.
The wiring was faulty.
And AI did not create the wiring. It just sent more current through it.
That is the judgment gap.
The space between what the system can produce and what the organization is wise enough to trust.
And in the AI era, that space may become the most important competitive advantage of all.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Focal Point. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. I'm your host, Sebastian Filiberto Rigoletto de la Cruz. Until next time, God bless you and yours and everyone.